Pruning trees, there's a lot of misconceptions about when you can prune, when you can't prune. Presently, right now, you can prune any tree anytime you want, but the best times are in the fall months and the spring months when the trees are actually starting to either regrow or starting to go dormant. It's actually the best time, but you can prune any tree when you want to, including fruit trees. The only ones you cannot in our state, and the reason why, I'll explain here a little bit, are oak trees. Which this is an oak tree, this is a water oak. We have down at Fulton Park. It was donated by an individual. And the reason why you don't want to trim oaks at that time of the year, you want to wait till December and January, in the latter part of January, then you don't trim anymore. And the reason why that is, they're very susceptible to a disease that's going across the United States right now, and in the Midwest, and you're seeing a lot of trees. It's called oak leaf blight. So oak trees are a no-no until the hard winter. Then after that, oak trees, you just leave your hands off of them. We're now going to talk about correct pruning techniques on trees. And the reason why we want to keep trees pruned and care for them is we don't want to make up a problem either for pedestrians, cars, when you're mowing, that type of thing. And it's also kind of essential for the tree that sometimes the tree will grow, inner branches of stuff will get in here, rub against the tree, against the bark. You're going to have damage to the bark. Subsequently, the tree recognizes it as it's got a problem, and it affects the growth of the tree and also affects the growth capacity of the tree. So what you want to do, if you're looking at it and you realize you have a problem, you go, is this the time to prune? Which we're saying right now is probably the best time to prune. You look at something, look for something to prune with. You have a pruning saw and a pair of pruning shears. And I recommend for pruning shears is this type of pruning shear. It's a scissors type. There'll be another type of pruning shears that will have a flat spot or an anvil on it. I recommend them for flowers and vines that don't have a bark to it. These have the cutting capacity. What happens is you have the flatter type, anvil type. They'll crush this, makes a wound on the tree and not a nice, good, clean cut, so the tree won't heal right. And again, it recognizes it damage and it's a lot more stress. What you're trying to do is when you prune is to give as least amount of stress as possible to the tree. And you do not want to take any more than the third of the volume of the tree out at one time or one season. That's a very critical part of learning when you're trying to prune. Another one is your technique when you prune. Sometimes people have a big branch and they think, gosh, we got to get right in here and make this cut here with the saw, and that big branch will actually peel off. So when you have a saw and you're doing a big branch, and I won't do it to this one at the moment, the first thing you want to do is make an undercut here to the collar of the tree. It's the growth collar right here to the tree. You can see it kind of here. It's that bulbous part, the same thing as when you're planting a tree. You want to make that cut down below that about a third of the way in. The next thing you want to do is take your saw, come back up here, cut that. And the reason for that is, as I explained earlier, this branch comes off and it's heavy, a lot of heavy weight. It will pull this bark down. Again, you have another open spot and it's another capacity for the tree not to grow. I look at this and I think, well, maybe I could take it off of this, but today we're going to use the saw. So we'll show what we're going to do here. So we're going to do our bottom cut. Okay, now we're going to do our top cut. You can see the collar is still right here. What happens when this tree grows, it'll actually take the bark and form around this and make a nice smooth surface for the tree. In another year or two, you won't be able to even see this wound on here. Now we have some smaller ones here. We can just take off with this regular scissors here. The same cut, same way, just like so. If you got any questions, you can contact City Hall and they'll get a hold of us. Or if you want to contact us in person, ask us any questions. We're by means no experts, but we'll try to answer your questions. We can't find an answer, we'll go find somebody who can.